What is happening, my friends? Welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day. Whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz, look, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. As always, my friends, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to tune into the Arrington Gavin Show, taking 1 hour of your precious time to tune into the show. Look, we have a lot of great stuff in store for you to tap in within this hour. As always, I want to shout out all of those who continue to listen to us on the radio airwaves out in the metro Atlanta area via WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk. You can listen to the Arrington Gavin Show Monday through Fridays at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also watch us on the streaming platforms of GOATverse TV. You hear me? GOATverse TV. It's an amazing app. It's a free app. If you go to your App Store or Google Play Store for you Android users out there, please download the app. It's free. It's some amazing content on there. And hey, it's a dope platform. I'm so excited to be a part of the network. Also, let's see here. YouTube, you can check us out on YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. I have multiple content on there, as not just the show, but also some clips pulled from episodes, as well as other projects, like a project that I do called Arrington's Most Interesting People, where I get to do one-on-one sit downs. It's a monthly series where I sit down with folks from the world of finance, from the culinary world, from the professional wrestling industry, from the ministry. I mean, it's just, you name it. Hey, I've had the opportunity to speak with them, so it's a great show. I highly recommend to follow it on YouTube as well. You can follow us on Rumble. You can also listen to us wherever you get your podcasts, whether that's iHeartRadio, via iHeartRadio app. So that's another platform you should download. What else? Spotify, Apple, so many other platforms you can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show. You can almost say we're syndicated. Okay, we are a national known show. Okay, we happen to have listeners not just in the United States that are tuned in, but I've seen some numbers. We have some folks that listen to us from out of the country, Germany, you name it. I'm like, oh snap, look at us. So yeah, I can't be more thrilled and honored just to always have great conversation with you all, and to just again see how everybody's doing, keep y'all informed, man, keep you up to speed with stuff going on. As I mentioned earlier, look, GOATverse TV, please be sure to download that app today. As we're speaking, it's free, no added or no hidden fees, none of that stuff. Just go ahead, download the app. It's free. You can also follow us on our social media platforms at the Arrington Gavin Show, Instagram, Blue Sky, X, let's see, Substack as well, at the Arrington Gavin Show. So do me a favor, be sure to follow us on those platforms. I truly appreciate it. Before we get going, let's go ahead and shout out some of our proud supporters that help us keep the lights running, like our friends over at Priority Ford. That's right, our friends over at Priority Ford. Looking for the best deals on Ford vehicles in Norfolk? At Priority Ford, they make your car buying experience smooth, easy, and exciting. From powerful trucks like the Ford F-150 to versatile SUVs like the Ford Explorer, they've got the perfect ride for your lifestyle. And with Priority for Life, you get complimentary oil changes, state inspections, and more for as long as, check this out, as long as you own your vehicle. Plus, they have financing options to fit every budget, so why wait? Visit Priority Ford on Military Highway in Norfolk, or you can go ahead and check them out online at priorityford.com. Please, your dream car is waiting. Be sure to check out Priority Ford. Shout out to James Church. He's a dear friend of mine. Him and his team over at Priority Ford, they got me hooked up with a great vehicle from Priority Ford. I'm new to the American, made industry, right? I was a foreign car guy prior. Still love my foreign cars, but I tell you one thing, it's nothing like a good American made vehicle especially with great customer service. So I want to thank them for being a proud supporter of the Arrington Gavin Show. So let's see here. We're going to take a quick commercial break, my friends. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back with more here on the Arrington Gavin Show.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to.
And we still in traffic.
I don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up.
With me?
Yeah, this that new GoatVerse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of that he said?
Introducing GoatVerse TV.
GoatVerse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In Goats, we trust.
All right, my friends, welcome back to the show. Welcome back. I am your host, your homie, Arrington Gavin. Look, let's get it going with our fun fact of the day. You know, we always love to start off the show with a good, just fun fact. Get the juices flowing in a sense, right? Get warmed up before we get going with the topic. So, look, on today's fun fact, did you all know that sloths can hold. I said can be hold. Sloths can hold their breath longer than dolphins. Now, you're probably wondering, sloths, to my knowledge, they're not they're not a sea creature, if I'm not mistaken. Dolphins are. So how does a sea creature, let me see here. Hold on, let me look up before I make myself look stupid up here. I'm pretty sure a sloth is, or if I got it mistaken with. Oh no, I was right. Okay, I was right. Yeah, sloths are those slow animals that's always like hanging on trees. They look really interesting looking. But anyways, it says here, by slowing their heart rate, sloths can hold their breath for up to 40 minutes, while dolphins typically surface every 10 to 15 minutes. So I think that's quite interesting. I think that is quite interesting. So it shows it is basically explaining the difference between a land creature to a sea creature and who can hold their breath the longest. So hey, that's a very random fun fact, but it is a fact. All right. You're welcome, my friends. You're welcome. Let's get it going already, y'all. Let's get going with some of our topics of the day. Let's see. Which one do I want to start with first? Okay, bet. Let's go on and talk a little. I wouldn't call this politics, even though she is the former first lady. Quite a very popular individual, by the way. I'm talking about the one and only Michelle Obama. Recently, it was announced that she was embarking a new they are truly winning. And what I mean by that is you have Barack Obama, who is obviously, he has his gray, but he's embracing it very, he's enjoying his grays. Because at the time when he was in office, it's like, okay, you saw this man go from jet black to to just flat out just salt, all salt, you know what I mean? And he's like, no, that's not me. I'm not about that life. And let me hurry up and get on out of here. But America had spoken and said, no, one more term. And there he goes. He had two terms. And so when it comes to celebrities within the Democratic Party, leaders, very popular folks within the Democratic Party, best believe the Obamas is, I'm going to say, number one. All right. And you can possibly even say politics in general. I mean, it's seriously, I mean, if you have to do a polling on who's one of the most popular figures in politics, it's hard to beat Obama. But behind every great man, there's a great woman. And that, my friend, is Michelle Obama. So she has been embarking on so many projects, you know, New York Times best-selling books, these massive book tours. I believe she's executive produced a couple of shows on Netflix, and now she has a new podcast that she is going to be launching with her brother Craig Robinson, offering honest conversations on life, love, and everything in between. So let me find the name of this podcast or what it will be. Got all my junk in the way. Let's see here. Launching a new video podcast, the former First Lady announced recently the new show IMO, capital IMO, IMO, will be hosted to IMO. I'm trying to understand what is the acronym or something for that. Will be hosted by her brother, by her and her brother Craig Robinson, who I believe Craig was a former collegiate basketball coach. Says here since Barack Obama left the White House, he and Michelle have become new media figures, producing Oscar-winning films and podcasts, writing books, as I mentioned earlier, and narrating documentaries. These ventures have broadened the Obama's considerable platform, with the two remaining highly influential in political circles. And it's crazy because right now everybody's saying Michelle need to run for office. She need to run. Let me tell you something. Michelle ain't never want to be involved in politics. Okay. She really did not. She was the least favorite. But guess what? She became the most popular. We all remember that DNC. Her speech was a hell of a lot better than Barack's. Okay. You had Michelle speaking, then came Barack. It was like everybody kind of like the claps were not as loud for Barack like it was for Michelle. It says here the Obama's enduring culture and political proudness offers a sharp contrast to many Democrats who are struggling to reach voters after the big 2024 election losses. Duh. But here's the thing, and it kind of goes in with the conversation I had with a guest on the program. I'm like all around the place, y'all. I'm dropping my notes and everything. When I had Malik Abdul on, we were mainly talking about Donald Trump, but he had said you have to realize there will only be one Donald Trump. There's so many political figures, or there's so many folks in politics or that get started in politics thinking they can mimic the exact personality, the exact strategic, or the exact strategy of what Donald Trump does. They think they can say whatever they want like Donald Trump. They think they can gravitate to a crowd or garner a huge audience like him. They think they can have a similar impact like him. That's not the case. Likewise, the Obamas. There will never ever be Barack and Michelle Obama. They will never have that. There will never be classism like that. I hope to be wrong, but they will never ever be the Obamas. The Obamas really changed the view in politics. They changed a lot of stuff in politics, the culture in politics. They really changed it up. So the term IMO, which stands for in my opinion, will include Jay Shetty, Tracy Ellis Ross, Tyler Perry, Issa Rae, Keke Palmer, and more, according to the Hollywood Reporter. Now, her previous shows, the Michelle Obama podcast, which I have not, I think now I'm curious to listen to it. The Michelle Obama podcast, the Light podcast, were also produced by Higher Ground. Likewise, this new podcast right here. Along with Higher Ground, also, let's see, along with Higher Ground, has also produced films and TV shows, including Rustin, American Factor, and Leave the World Behind. Let's see here. the interesting thing is we all kind of grew up to love Michelle Obama's family. Her mother, who has stayed in the White House when they were in office. Her brother was always around the picture. He spoke at a lot of functions. I mean, you got to know and they're split images. You can tell their brother and sister, they look just alike. They look just like this. One with long hair, one without. They look just like same height and everything. So I think it'll be unique to see how this would, this would pan out. Let's see here. I think I'm more interested in knowing the personality more of her brother than Michelle, because we know Michelle Obama, right? They're gonna speak on a little bit of everything. Love, life, everything in between. As you know, they lost their mother. I want to say, was it a year or two ago? So they probably talk about that. I do think it's interesting. Will they talk politics? I'm 100% sure they will. Like, it's hard to avoid, and I think Michelle is doing so much she can to run away from politics. But at the end of the day, it's stuck on her. She will always be a former first lady. She will always have political attached with the name, politics attached with the name. She partisan. It will be hard to avoid bringing up. Yeah. So, what was your take on this? What's your take on that? But I think I do think that being that it's a family affair, the conversation will not hold back any kind of conversations, whether it's disagreements, whether if it's agreements, interviews. I think it'll be interesting. What I'm catching though is a lot of, and don't get me wrong, I'm all for folks starting podcasts. Why not? Especially when you are a public figure, it's easy money. In my opinion, if you're a public figure, I'm still on the rise, y'all. All right, I am still very much on the rise. But if I had well over 1 million followers and I already had a platform and I started a podcast, it's easy money. It's easy money. For someone like her, she can have 5 episodes and be done. It'll be like the top chart selling, podcast out there. It's just she's that popular. My thing though, when I see a lot of public figures having a podcast, I used to be kind of salty because I'm like, what now? Why do we know about your life? We kind of know, but we really don't, because on podcasts is more unfiltered. Now, some podcasts can be a bit scripted, right? They don't give you as much details. But there's some that are very much open and honest conversations. That's why you have shows like the Joe Rogan Experience that is so popular, because the authenticity is real. It's not fake. It's so authentic. You can like them, you can hate them. It is a great concept by having 3 hours, sometimes even 4-hour shows, where it's ones that he's just talking, having a good time, maybe having a drink. It's like, it's just, and then, oh man, all right, we gotta do a show later. I mean, it's pretty damn cool. I know Meghan Markle's done the podcast game. I don't know how popular that was. I can tell you now, Meghan, in my opinion, is she's interesting, but she's boring at the same time. Like, I say this because, hey, I'm a fan of her show. She has a show on Netflix. My wife and I watch it. My wife actually kind of got me hooked on it. Where she's like, basically, it's a lifestyle show. She's like a Martha Stewart-ish, or a Barefoot Contessa kind of type show. But it's just so damn boring. But it's interesting because I guess that show is for the creatives, the homemakers, the stay-at-home people, the people that likes the arts and craft. Like, that's the avenue for you. The ones that love to cook, it's an avenue for you. But again, personality-wise, Michelle might have a little more personality than a Meghan. And I think that's what you see on why they're starting all these projects, right? Why they're starting their creativity. I just think it's interesting because they start off as being, lawyers, right? Having law degrees from Harvard, then, husband, state senator, this and that. Then all of a sudden you go into politics, then you go into filming and creative and this and that and the other. But hey, here's the kicker though. Their daughter, their oldest, is a very talented film director and executive producer. She's been working with Childish Gambino. Is it Danny Glover or Donald Glover? Donald Glover. Yeah, Danny Glover is Lethal Weapon. I always get them mixed up. She's worked alongside with him on many projects, Donald Glover. And I think it's Sasha. You got Malia, you got Sasha. So I think it's Sasha is the oldest. So hey, creativity runs in the fam. So why not get that money? I know a lot of folks will always support their endeavors. So it will be interesting to see. Again, that podcast is called IMO, stands for in my own opinion. In my opinion. No, I'm sorry. In my opinion. That's what it stands for. And so we will get to see that soon. And I will give my honest opinion after listening to the first episode, or it's a video podcast. So I'll get to watch the first one, see how that goes. But let's go ahead and move it on, folks. From that, let's see what I want to talk about next. What we don't talk about next. Let's go ahead and move it on to some sports. So I don't know if y'all have heard, but recently there was a First Take reunion. First Take it still is one of the longest running shows on ESPN, one of the most highly successful shows on ESPN. When it was created, you had the originals Skip Bayless, sports journalist Skip Bayless, and sports journalist Stephen A. Smith. Once you put those two together, instant magic, right? You have the guy that you can say is somewhat on the conservative side of sports. You got the guy that's more on the liberal side of sports. Two different personalities. One's more calm, but makes like jabs to the heart. Another one is loud and unfiltered and, can care less. So bring it back. So that was a very highly popular program, and it still to this day is the most watched sports debate show on television. But it's at the helm is led by Stephen A. Smith, who is and I will say, the highest paid personality on ESPN. Recently, he signed I've used recently a lot, I know, but he recently had signed a 5-year, $100 million contract extension with the channel. You would think they had it all, right? You would think the show was always going to be Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith. After, I want to say 7 years, after 7 years on First Take, Skip Bayless announced that he was leaving the show as well as leaving the network, and he was going to be going to a potential contender of the network in Fox Sports 1. And guess what? He was going to be starting his own version of First Take. It was going to be with him and Hall of Famer, NFL Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champ Shannon Sharpe, which again, that show went on to become very successful. Still not topping First Take, but it was still very successful. Skip left on bad times with Stephen A. So hey, he leaves New York. He goes to different coasts. He's like, I'm here for the long haul. I'm done with that side. Then guess what? He starts having issues with Shannon Sharpe. Then Shannon leaves after, I believe, 7 years. And Shannon, who became successful on the digital space, right? As a podcaster. Club Shay Shay grew to be very popular. Now he has Nightcap along with Chad Ochocinco. Chad Ochocinco, however you want to remember him. Another former NFL player. And so in addition to that success, Shannon also left and went on to sign on with the competitor. He signed on with the enemy, First Take. And now he's on First Take, I believe, a few times a week. And it's a great back and forth with Stephen A. And so that left Skip high and dry. What am I going to do next? They tried to rebrand the program Undisputed, and it became hot garbage. It really was. They added not one, not two, but 3 voices in addition to Skip Bayless on the show, thinking that was going to help. Hot garbage. Ratings, hot garbage. And then guess what? Skip just said, I'm out. So he ended up leaving, and now he's fully independent. He has his own podcast called the Skip Bayless Show. And again, I go back to, hey, when you're a public figure, you see decent numbers. You can get in the thousands pretty easy when you're a public figure. Skip Bayless, I've come to realize, should not have a show by himself. He does better with somebody. And I say that because Skip is very plain. He's very bland. He's very and that's always been his persona. Don't get me wrong, it's always been his persona. I think what makes him popular is because his unfiltered take on something. But it's just I don't know. It's really vanilla. But anyways, I say all that to say, fast forward, you got these two guys who grew a career together, and they now both have their own independent program. Still on, one is still on very much on the network, but the other one has his own independent program, the Stephen A. Smith Show. And then you have Skip Bayless with the Skip Bayless Show. So they all have their own stuff on YouTube. And recently, guess what? There was a First Take reunion. First time in 9 years, my friends. 9 years. So let me go ahead and read you this article by frontofficesports.com. Says here that Stephen A. Smith taped an episode of the Skip Bayless Show recently. The show, which will air early next, it's actually already occurred, is the first time the duo has been on air together since Bayless left First Take in the summer of 2016. At the time, Bayless left ESPN to launch Undisputed with Shannon Sharpe at FS1. Max Kellerman replaced Bayless on First Take, and the show migrated from ESPN2 to ESPN. Kellerman exited the program in September of 2021, and since that time, Smith has been the primary host with rotating casts of recurring guests, a list that now includes Sharpe, as I mentioned, appears multiple times a week. Now, let's see here. Bayless and Jamie Horowitz, who was the former First Take producer who hired Bayless away from ESPN for FS1's Undisputed, relentlessly lobbied ESPN executives for Smith to be brought back to the network on First Take years after the host had been let go from the network. Now, Smith and Skip and Lord have mercy, Smith and Bayless, who were on First Take together for more than 4 years, have had ups and downs in their relationships, but hashed things out in the summer of 2022 in a poolside chat. Did not know that. So it says that Bayless left FS1 last summer and has been focusing on his podcast, which airs on YouTube ever since. Bayless was named in a lawsuit recently. We spoke about that. A lawsuit brought by former FS1 hairstylist, FS1 boss, as well as a host on FS1, who's currently still on there, were all named in a lawsuit. Bayless and the other host who's still on the network denied the allegations, which include sexual battering brought in the lawsuit, and FS1's parent company, Fox, has asked for it to be dismissed. So the big thing is, y'all, I think this brought a lot. This, for one, helped out Skip's numbers, if I could be honest, because again, his show is on the iffy. It's the back and forth. It's no Shannon Sharpe. It's no Stephen A. Smith. It's no Nightcap. But hey, it's something that he can fully focus on. He is all about content, and that's, I've spoken with mentors. It's not about your setup all the time. It's about the content. Content's what's going to gravitate people interested in that program. So I'm like, okay, you got a point there. You got a point there. And so, yeah, I think as far as the conversation was pretty, they caught up on a lot of stuff. Obviously answered rumors that the public always was curious about. And so will they do this again? I hope that, Skip can appear on Stephen A. Smith show, kind of return the favor kind of thing, because in the digital space, y'all, in the podcast world, you do have, that's how you get in touch. That's how you make a lot of friends too in the space, where you bring on guests. You're like, hey, look, I love you. I mean, that's just a little quick tip. A lot of people will cross promote, say, hey, look, I want you as a guest of mine, but let me return the favor and have you, have you on my show, or I'll be on your show, this and that and the other. So I do hope that keep on saying Shannon. There's so many S's. Stephen A, Shannon, Skip. It's like y'all all just need to have one show together. Nobody said that I didn't. I said it first. Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp, and Stephen A. Smith all need to have a show together. You're welcome. You're welcome. I feel like that's a good way to end the show right there. Now, what I am going to do, though, I'm going to take a quick breather. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll have a lot more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back after these commercial breaks.
Order your beard care products with Rugged Evolution. We're your local beard care line that supports the maintenance of your full, mature beard. Our line includes conditioning shampoos, moisturizers, balms, oils, shaving lotions, and exfoliating soaps. These products moisturize, hydrate, nourish, and have all the natural ingredients for a healthy beard. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. And remember,
Rugged is the new smooth.
What has happened, y'all? Welcome back to the show. Welcome back. Welcome back. Let's get it going with some more stories of the day. So, comedian Tony Hinchcliffe, known for the podcast host of the show Kill Tony, which is basically one of the rising roast shows you can possibly, and roast as in like roast, like a comedy roasting, beefing, is one of the most popular roast programs, longest running ones as well. They've brought out a lot of comedians from that show, and so it's pretty popular. I say it like that. It's pretty popular. The man has over 2 million subscribers on YouTube alone. All right, so I've been aware of Tony Hinchcliffe. He's been a regular guest on Joe Rogan's program. He's a part of the slew of comedians that is leaving the West Coast, or leaving Hollywood, leaving California, heading to Texas. You got so many folks bringing their stuff to Texas. I will say somewhat led by Joe Rogan. After Joe Rogan opened up a huge comedy club there, it's like, okay, the rest is history. So the reason why I bring him up is because Tony Hinchcliffe during the campaign season had himself in some hot water, because he had gotten some trouble with a joke that he used at a Trump rally at Madison Square Garden. Now, I'll be honest, the atmosphere, the way it was set up, it looked to me like one of them old school you don't belong here kind of rallies, if you catching my drift, right? But Tony Hinchcliffe, who, like I said, he's pretty funny. I've listened to his work, and it's raunchy, it's bold, it's unfiltered, but it's funny as I don't know what. So he just signed a Netflix deal, and a lot of folks are really not too happy because, hey, this man had mocked Puerto Rico in his joke calling it a floating pile of garbage. That was verbatim of what he called it. This article by Politico says here that the comedian, whose appearance at the New York rally, obviously, for then candidate Donald Trump drew bipartisan backlash after he made a disparaging comment about Puerto Rico. I'm not going to repeat that comment because I just said it, but a lot of folks are not happy that he has recently inked a deal with Netflix. Now, here's the thing. The joke was a very, very poor joke for the time of the day, for the setting, for what, you don't come on now. You don't call anyone's home garbage. Now, here's the thing, y'all. And this one, you got to separate the artist from the actual person. It was poor strategy to book him because he's known to making some very vulgar and some outrageous jokes. Now, I'll say this. If you are familiar who Tony Hinchcliffe is, familiar with his material, familiar with the comedian in general, okay, obviously it was a joke. Now, come at me, correct me. Why am I wrong to say was it a joke, or was it because you don't know? Did he meant that personally, or did he meant that did he mean that? You know what I mean? And I don't know, because sometimes certain jokes and I'm no comedian, but I'm just saying, like, you will say, okay, was that really a joke, or did you really mean that? You know what I mean? Like, you have to be careful of where comedians get their joke material from. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's from real life stuff. Sometimes it's from their own personal, where does it come from? But I've said many times, it was poor strategy to have him during this time. But at the end of the day, that's very on brand for Trump, because sky's the limit. They act like they didn't know who this guy was. They knew who good and hell well who he was. They knew who he was. The man is if you watch comedy roast, you will say, okay, look, this guy is very on brand. Tony Hinchcliffe is very on brand with that. But now take a comedy roast and put it in a campaign season. I don't think that was a smart thing to do. So he received a lot of backlash, but he also received a lot of support from folks from both sides of the aisle in the comedy world. They just said, hey, look, it wasn't the setting, but a lot of them were saying he's a comedian. Like, I mean, it's hard to censor comedians. It really is. So I say all that to say, if Netflix, which Netflix is pretty, I won't say conservative, but they're pretty forward thinking when it comes to their audience and understanding, hey, look, they're not trying to offend anybody or any groups. Now, kind of play devil's advocate. Some can say, well, wait a minute. Remember all the heat that Dave Chappelle was getting off of using endless amount of LGBTQ plus jokes, right? He still has a deal. He's still employed in Netflix. Netflix employees, some of their employees were protesting, saying you need to get him on. No, they followed the money. They said, no, this man making this money. No, he's gonna stay right here with us. So it's like, okay, what's the principle of Netflix? What does Netflix stand for, right? Who are they gonna stand for? Think about it. Who should be getting most of the blame? Netflix for signing this deal with Tony? You heard what I just said. YouTube, 2 million subscribers alone. 2 million. You got comedians that are on the rise, like Andrew Schultz, Tony Hinchcliffe, Bill Burr. I mean, Joe Rogan had a Netflix special. He had, I think, maybe like 3 or 4 in total. It says here, under the deal, Hinchcliffe will helm 3 live comedy specials, with the first premiering in April, as well as his own stand-up special. So this man's not just having a special. This man's going to have multiple projects under this Netflix deal. This is very lucrative. Look, I would say this. He has built an empire with this Kill Tony. To say he doesn't deserve a Netflix deal will be crazy. Was it a poor choice of was it a poor joke to say during that campaign period. Absolutely. Absolutely. But do I think people should cancel him for that joke? To me, it really depends on your comedic filter. What do you find funny? What do you find not funny? What do you find offensive? It's very hard. It is very hard to tell in that aspect. So that's just me. That's just me on that one. Let's see here. I mentioned about his 2 million. I want to see here. Trump's campaign tried to distance itself from Hinchcliffe and Puerto Rican celebrities, including Andrea Plaza, Jennifer Lopez, Bad Bunny, and Nicki Jam, blasted the set. Jam, who had previously appeared at a Trump campaign rally alongside the now president, said that in the episode pushed him to retract his earlier endorsement of Trump. Lopez attacked Trump on the set at a campaign rally for Kamala Harris in Las Vegas. Now, here's the thing. Nicki Jam probably did not endorse Trump. Bro, man still voted for him. I'm going to tell you that right now. That man probably told him, "Don't know, I'm taking my endorsement from Trump." That man under the table still voted for him. So y'all can act fool if you want to. Endorsement deals doesn't mean they're not going to vote. They're just saying publicly, look, I'm not going to come as a public supporter, but you don't know what they do behind that curtain. Hinchcliffe obviously did not apologize, though he did later acknowledge that perhaps the venue at the time wasn't the best effing place to do this set at. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Maybe I need to have a conversation with some of my comedic friends on their take on that. But let me see if I actually have a sound bite of it. Give me 1 second before I move it on to another story. Let's look at my time.
Right? Heck yeah, it's a cool black guy with a thing on his head. What the hell is that? A lampshade? Look at this guy. Oh my goodness. Wow. I'm just kidding. That's one of my buddies. He had a Halloween party last night. We had fun. We carved watermelons together. It was awesome. Right? Heck yeah. It's cool.
See, like
black guy with a thing on.
See, like that joke right there. That joke right there. Poor for that setting. Could you say okay, but don't make that your regular jokes in your set. Okay, he used a man of color and he talked about watermelon. Okay, all right, don't make that your regular set. But y'all, that's who Tony Hinchcliffe is. He's always gonna be that person that jab. He is like you have unfiltered comedians that don't hold ish back with their jokes. Now, I want to lose my black card defending too much with this guy because I can see folks ready to. All right, bro, but he just said, "All right, answer what you trying to say." I'm gonna move it on, but I want to have some of my comedic friends to get their take on just this subject matter, not even this comedian, but just the subject matter on, okay, what's the right joke to say at a certain time period or a certain event, certain venue? What's funny and what's not funny? What's a common kind of subject to speak about on stage? I know exactly who I'm going to contact too, but let me go ahead and digress from this. I'm looking one time. I think I have let me see here. Let's move it on to my next story. So I want to give you a quick follow-up of how I want to give you a quick follow-up of how the new administration is doing right now. Let me see here if I can find that. So Let me see here. So it says here around 48%. 48% of voters disapprove Trump's stance on the economy, or excuse me, handling of the economy since returning to office. Because obviously, Trump said day one, we're gonna have the best economy, millions, trillions of dollars back in our pockets. We're gonna make the economy great again. Okay, great again, beautiful, great money, you name it. We got everybody behind us. Elon Musk, wealthiest man in the world. Jeff Bezos, not Bezos, I call him Bezos because that's really how you should say it. He's rich. Zucker, rich. Elon, rich. I'm rich. Okay. It says there that the economy is making an impact on President Donald Trump's approval rating, which had dropped from 49% to 47%, according to the Emerson's College polling survey. The poll also showed that 53% of voters believe tariffs, will hurt the economy growth, and 46% believe Trump's policies are making the economy worse. So, to add on to that, I want to play you this clip from Maria. I always have a problem trying to pronounce her last name. Maria from Fox News, from Fox Business. Let me go ahead and Mario Bartiromo, I believe that's her last name. Bartiromo. Let me go ahead and play this clip when she was talking live about the economy, about how everything is going to be all good and dandy and blase. No, this is really what had happened. And it's funny because they try so hard to try and cover up, and it's like, look, you literally caught red-handed. Your hand is in the cookie jar. I'm looking right at you. Why are you trying to say that you ain't take nothing? Check this out, y'all. Let me play this and we can talk on the other side.
But President Trump is looking from 30,000 feet above. He expects a disruption. He said that the other day, sure, we'll have a disruption, but we're okay with that. And I asked him that in the interview as well. What other disruptions might he expect? I think it's largely companies and investors getting used to a new day, a new sheriff in town, and that includes ensuring that America comes first. So, yes, we are talking about tariffs. And if you listen to the people who are against tariffs, including the Wall Street Journal editorial board, they'll say, well, ultimately, that cost is passed on to the consumer. But President Trump's pushback on that is just what you heard, that he is luring huge investments into America, and the rest of his agenda is deflationary. Remember, you can't just look at tariffs in a vacuum. He's also hoping to extend the tax cut, so cutting taxes. He's also tapping into the energy capacity in America that he's expecting to produce growth. And he's also getting wealth back to America, meaning he's already had commitments of $2 trillion from large, deep-pocketed investors to corporations to invest in America. President Trump's message was very clear to me when I sat down with him last week, and that is build it here. And the point that I made on Laura last night that you referenced, Bill, is the fact that things have changed quite a bit in the world. It is a dangerous world out there. And President Trump's main priority, but President Trump is looking from 30,000.
Oh, Maria, you poor thing. First of all, did y'all catch her using the word huge? Huge. I'm like, did she just say huge? Not huge, but huge. All right. Once again, this man has y'all looking like pure tea fools, for those who are either addicted to talking bad about him or for those who are addicted to defend him when he's wrong. It makes y'all look extremely foolish. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm that guy where, hey, if he does good, I'll talk about it. If he does bad, I'll talk about it. Right now, I ain't seen a lot of good. So, obviously, I'm going to talk about the bad. I'm just going to talk about him. He's a sitting president. It comes to the territory. It comes to the job. But I'm like, did she just say huge? She is trying so hard to defend. And it's just like, look, folks are not happy. They're not having it. So I'm like, this is the hypocrisy, in my opinion, when it comes to folks just saying, look, you gotta admit your boy is doing wrong. You gotta admit your boy is doing wrong. But no one will ever do that. No one ever keep people accountable, because it's all about, oh no, well, what he's doing is good. Well, here's the thing. I found his response after, seeing that approval rating, and those who have been defending, saying, well, the economy and everything. This is what Trump is doing right now. After seeing how the economy is doing and how people feel about him. Oh, check out this video right here. Check out that.
A white Secret Service.
The man is literally like producing a commercial, a Tesla commercial in front of the White House with Elon Musk.
Wow.
Another fan favorite of the public.
That's beautiful.
I mean, what are we doing here, y'all? What are we doing here, y'all? Let's do a commercial with this billionaire while the economy is crashing. What are we doing? What are we doing? Crickets, exactly.
But they gave it away, and we're taking it back. We're taking our jobs back. And one of the things I'll say, by the way, speaking of Tesla, he manufactures more cars. I mean, he opened this incredible plant, one of the largest plants in the world, in Texas. Could you talk about that?
Yeah. Can someone please tell Don J. Trump to please wipe the brown off the nose from he finds himself against a wall, and he's like, he's bringing in so many cars. Can you share that with the audience? Can you share it with the press? Last time I checked, Tesla stocks just like dropped. All right, they ain't doing so good. They ain't doing so hot right now. Okay, obviously you have people protesting against Tesla. You have celebrities that have given back their Tesla cars. They're like, I'm done. I'm not happy with this. I mean, I don't even, to me, regardless of personal opinion and like political opinion, I never liked the Cyber trucks. They're hideous. I never liked Tesla cars. They look like little running bugs to me. I never liked the look. I'm not in with all electric. All right. I'll at most I might do a hybrid, but I'm not with all electric. Tesla has always been butt ugly in my opinion, y'all. I never got with it. I never got with it. But once again, accountability. You have folks who are frustrated, who are questioning, who are laying it into your GOP congressional leaders. All right. People that serve in Senate. Look, I've spoken with folks on the right that are elected officials here in the state of Virginia. Folks who are up for election, they're saying, look, it is difficult to be a Republican right now because we have to answer a lot of questions from this current administration, and it sucks because it's just like, we're not getting the information that we need. We're not getting the answers either. But we're going to do all we can to help defend and help say, oh, well, we're going to be all right. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do. No, it's not all right. It's not okay. They're literally telling their GOP House members to say, could you just have them avoid doing town halls just for right now? A lot of people are intense right now. Okay, so let's just avoid doing the town halls. Your job that's supposed to stay engaged with your constituents. Yeah, don't do that. No. We're not gonna do that. No need. No, don't do that. Also, now you got folks that are paid protesters. Now look, I didn't grow up, I wasn't born yesterday. Folks like that exist, but to publicly use that as an excuse is it's to me, it's funny. It's just funny. Like the House Speaker literally like saying, well, they were paid folks up there, and so they were paid, and so in reality, this is what we're doing here. This is how it's going. And so let me see. I'm looking what time, because there was a clip from Perfect. I think oh, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Well, I thought oh yes. I want to play you this very quick because I'm looking at my time. Let me see if I can share this. This person was on I want to say it was on one of the Fox news. Oh, Outnumbered. There we go. And this girl was extremely bold to speak in the face of the House Speaker and be like, "Hey, look, so answer this question I'm about to bring up to you." And so let me go ahead and play you this with the short time that I have and see if I can I'm pressing I'm really pressing. I know y'all. I know I'm pressing it. Let me see here. Producer's like, "All right, you got this short minutes. Come on, you got to hurry it up. You got to hurry." All right, hold on. Here we go.
I worked in the federal government for 10 years. There are certainly ways it could be more efficient. This is moving fast and breaking things and hurting a lot of people in the process. And the government shouldn't be in the business of firing a veteran who served their country for 20 years and then having to fix it later. I don't trust that it will fix it later. I just don't. And you can come up, look, there are a lot of comical things that President Trump mentioned at the State of the Union that you mentioned about the government was spending money on. A lot of things that are getting cut are cancer research. Support for scientists across this country saving the lives of children with cancer. That's just one. So we can talk about cuts, but doing it this way hurts Americans. It's irresponsible. And quite frankly, that's why you see not just paid protesters, with all due respect, some constituents in Republican districts who are coming to these town halls and saying, "I'm a veteran. I lost my job. I have come to work every day." How can you? And Elon Musk makes millions of dollars every day from the American government. And you're firing these people. Look, I worked in the federal government for 10 years. There are certainly ways.
Can I clap it up for the girl? Can I clap it up? Did she set him straight? She set him straight. She set him straight. And I could, and that's the big picture right there, y'all. That is the big picture. Stop finding an excuse and admit your wrongdoing. Stand up for what's right. You act like he has all the power. He doesn't. Folks think that the president has the power. I'm sorry. Congress and Senate has the power. Now you got another person in office. All right, Elon Musk. So does he have the power now? Where are we going? What is going on, people? What is going on? All I can say is that keep it with prayer, and we will be all right. Y'all hear me? We gonna be all right. Just put it in prayer, and we gonna be all right. But until next time, my friends, that is my time. Be sure to continue to tune into the Arrington Gavin Show, available on all digital and streaming platforms. Follow us on Instagram at the Arrington Gavin Show, Blue Sky, X, all social media platforms. You can listen to us on all major podcast platforms. Download the GOATverse TV app today. Download it right now. It's free, available in the App Store, Google Play Store, Roku, as well as Amazon Fire. You can also listen to us Monday through Fridays at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time via in the Metro Atlanta area on the radio waves, WDJY 99.1 FM. As well, my friends, peace and blessings. Take care. God bless. I will see y'all next time for another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show. I'm out.